Tom, popping pads today, baby. I know you love to do that back in old smack over high school days. What's going to be different about today, man?
Well, we might see a few more strains and bruised bones and things like that. But yeah, I mean, they practice very physically, even when they're in spider pads, and it just amps it up just a little bit. And of course, on this day today, we get Eric Mateos in the O-line, so they're probably about the most involved in the full contact, and so we'll get to hear what they have to say about it today.
So Fernando Carmona Jr. moves on the inside. They bring in Corey Robinson. I know people are you don't necessarily get like, oh, my gosh, we got an awesome offensive lineman. But, Tom, this was one of the higher recruited guys in the portal. How big a role could he play on Mateos and Sam Pittman's offensive line this fall?
Well, I mean, it could be pretty big. And they came out of spring, even though the last scrimmage we saw, the defense was throwing some blitz and stuff at them that they struggle with. And we talked to somebody that very day. I think we talked to Carmona, or maybe it was a day or two later, but we talked to him, and it's like, man, they got us today. We weren't there. We didn't pick it all up. And so they're going to have to be a lot more attuned to what their blitz calls, where the blitz is coming from, what the call looks like, who slides, and that kind of stuff. But they feel like physically with Robinson at left tackle and some combination of Imarian Harris and Shaq McCroy at right tackle, they'll be upgraded there. And then the interior gave up a lot of pressures in the pass game last year and kind of had Talon on the move a lot. And so I think they feel like they upgraded at center with Kittler over Addison Nichols, and then Carmona and either Branham or Blackstock at guard. And so if you just look at it on paper, they have a chance to be better, more physical in the run game and holding up better against the pass. And I think they gave up 36 sacks, and I wrote about it the other day. I think it was the fifth highest sacks allowed in the SEC. So they could stand some improvement there.
Yeah, I know that's been outside of 21. I know Arkansas is ranked kind of on the back end of the sack totals, which is surprising considering who's your head coach is. But the other element of sacks, Tom, is what you get on the other side, and that's defensive line. So last season they gave up a lot of sacks and they didn't get to the quarterback. I know one of the points of emphasis that Travis Williams has talked about is bringing Dix, bringing Sorey. You heard Nick Perry discussing earlier this week. It's like, hey, I'm confident because he feels like that we got the guys on the outside to defend that. So what kind of elements you're kind of alluding to it? What kind of elements have you seen Arkansas in maybe some blitzes thus far to try and pick up pressure this fall?
Well, we haven't seen a whole lot of team periods to see what the blitzes are looking like, who's the most likely to go, but on the linebackers. But we saw that Sorey was a great rusher last year, and I think Dix will be pretty good at it, although he stays more in the middle. Even though you can send him. And then we know Brad Spence, I think, had 5 sacks. And so I think Shaw would be your guy who kind of maybe has that Brad Spence type role. Mm-hmm. But, we're looking at the rosy picture, I guess, in terms of, oh, yeah, they're gonna hold down corner more, and that's going to allow, even though they don't have any big-name pass rushers, that's going to allow people to get to them. Well, maybe. And I wrote today that the cornerbacks might be, I wrote a couple of days ago, the wide receivers have the most questions on the team. Well, pass rush might have just as many or more questions. Where, is O'Key going to be better? Is Quincy going to be Quincy Rose going to be what they're talking him up as? Mm-hmm. Or will they get stymied on the edges enough that they have to send linebackers? I mean, there has to be points in games where you feel like you can get the quarterback with 4. And if they can get to that point, then it will have been a pretty good season. But to think that you have to go with 5 or 6 on the pass rush is a little bit risky, especially if cornerback slips or something like that. So it's all just this big cat and mouse game. But they want to be able to blitz more and hold up in their man coverage, and we'll see how that works out.
Tom Murphy's with us, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. He's taking in fall camp. You can call it summer camp. You can call it fall camp. I don't care. He's taking it in the last few days. Tom, one of the things I saw yesterday, and he's gotten some accolades, but Cam Shanks listed as first-team All-American by Sporting News. I know there's been a punt return touchdown here and there. Nathan Perotti, Isaiah Satania gets BYU. Bryce Stevens gets Missouri State, but I mean, you saw this kid firsthand last year for UAB. What have you maybe seen, or what have you heard about Cam's impact and what it could be on special teams this upcoming season?
Well, I think the people who predict that stuff look at, this guy's a returning punt return, average yardage guy in the nation. Oh, and now he's at Arkansas. And so it stands to reason he could be a first-team preseason All-American. Shifty, I mean, he's a short guy. And honestly, in the slot right now, he is behind Raylan Sharp, who just had a really nice day today. He had a touchdown today in fastballs. And as I predicted on this show Tuesday, I think he's going to lead the team in receptions. But Shanks will get his action, I think, in the slot. And if they can block things up well, he'll have the opportunity to return some punts. I mean, they want to return punts more than, say, they did last year when there were several fair catches on punts that were returnable.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed to me like it was kind of a program, idea or deal to let's just catch them and be safe with them. And they might be a little bit more aggressive with that this year.
You mentioned what you alluded to on Tuesday. I think about, and I know these guys are like Arkansas, basically Hall of Famers, but Joe and Jarius weren't the biggest guys. We had Coach Adams on last week. We've had Jarius on before. Jarius was known as a leader, tremendous route runner. Joe was known as the Jet. I mean, could turn a little pitch into a 92-yard touchdown like he did against Auburn. Do you anticipate Petrino bringing Shanks and Raylan Sharp out in some packages this fall, Tom?
I think if I can recall in spring, I think they did talk about that being a possibility. By the way, side note, the Goodyear blimp, or a Goodyear blimp, is flying right over Maple Street.
Is it really?
Right now. I'm right outside the Broyle Center looking northbound, and the Goodyear blimp is headed right at me. And I don't know why it's here. But anyway, I mean, there could be packages, but they're both like 5'8", 5'9". And as Ronnie Fouch pointed out the other day, when I asked him about lack of height, is it a concern? He's like, we're more about getting separation than having speed, and it doesn't matter how tall you are if you're open and you get the ball. So we'll see how that turns out.
It's crazy. Like Andrew Armstrong got nacked for his what he did the combine and stuff. And, I mean, he was open all the time last year because I feel like he was precise. He had the best hands on the team, maybe outside of Tesla. Him and Isaac were neck and neck. But that wasn't – I felt like at times an issue last year where Taylor would hold the ball too long because he didn't have guys open. So maybe this offense will get a few more guys open. All right, so give us an update. What is the blimp headed to the stadium? Is it doing I had heard about this. I'm surprised we hadn't gotten a memo or anything. Any idea what the blimp's in town in Fayetteville for, Tom?
I don't, and that's why I was hoping you'd get some callers, people who know. But if it continues on its current course, it's going to bisect Razorback Road and a corner of the stadium. So it would be the northwest corner of the stadium. Oh, yeah, and it's coming. I mean, it's not going to be directly overhead me, which is the very front of the Broyle Center.
Scott.
But,
go ahead, Tom.
Got
sorry.
it.
I was going to say, Scott, the tortilla guy is advising you to run. He says, run, Tom, run.
Like the War of the Worlds in slow motion. But, I mean, it is really, it's just about to hit Razorback Road, and it could go over a corner of the stadium.
I'll tell you what, that is an awesome college football Saturday night tradition that we have is like the view of the Goodyear blimp. And I've seen plenty of sky shots of Razorback Stadium. But, Tom, I know you're not up actually in the blimp, but that is a cool addition that they added years ago with college football and NFL broadcast too. Yeah,
you know what? I would take a picture. I think I can talk on the phone and take a picture. But as soon as we hang up, I'm taking a picture because it's actually correcting course, and I think it's going to go right over the stadium. Okay, well, maybe they're just getting the wide shot, the stadium shot for the upcoming games this season. So if they're not here for big games, I don't know. That's just a thought. Speaking of traditions in college football, one that might become one. Tom, I don't know if you caught Roger Goodell on ESPN yesterday, but college football red zone. Now I'm going to guess that NBC, Fox, ESPN, Disney, ABC are going to have to work out some sort of deal because you don't just want the ESPNs to have it. You want all you want them to go to all. I want to see Michigan, Ohio State, or excuse me, I want to see Texas, Ohio State, maybe a touchdown, and then I want to see another 11 a.m.
marquee game right after. Would that be a concept you think would be worth pursuing if you were the networks? And if you're just a college football fan, would you maybe pay an extra $5 a month to watch college football Red Zone?
Thanks to your long-winded question, I'm apparently not going to get a video of the blimp. I got a couple of still pictures, so I'll post.
I screwed that up.
No, it's okay. And I don't know what your question was. Something about the Red Zone. It sounds like a great idea.
I'm sorry, Tom. Do we need to let you go so you can get ahead and follow the blimp if you need to?
Nah, it's time for me to go in to get ready for interviews. But look for it on social media. It'll be Coach Broyle's statue with the blimp up in the sky.
Can't wait to see it. Good stuff as always, buddy. We'll talk next week.
You betcha. See ya.